The thing that I dislike the most about Croats is their reaction every year on November the 18th. This is the anniversary of the fall of Vukovar in 1991, after a very brutal 87-day siege from the Serbs. It's remembered every year. Vukovar is known as the City of Heroes. Everybody's proud of the sacrifice, and because of this, it helped with the victory. And so, especially in the diaspora, you have all these Facebook posts and the statuses which change, and they go from their time on the beach in Dalmatia to we'll never forget Vukovar, City of Heroes, and everything else. And then on November the 19th, they go back to their beach, and that's it. That's the Vukovar contribution. And it always strikes me as being something that is more for the people who post, feeling better about themselves, rather than support for Vukovar. As a foreigner, I never ever felt I was able to write anything about Vukovar because it's such an emotive issue. But in 2019, I realized that nobody had ever written a piece about the Vukovar commemoration where they remember and they go to the hospital and then they walk all the way to the cemetery, 6 kilometers. And so I decided to go. It was really shocking. It was horrifying seeing what had happened and everything. But what was really quite disgusting was how people were, especially politicians, using this for their own benefits to show that they were more patriotic and everything else. And I spoke to the people of Vukovar in 2019, and they were really resigned to the fact that they get invaded by these people who are there, but they're not actually there for the people of Vukovar. They're more there for themselves and for their own ends. And in 2021, I went again. This is my second time, and it was really a different atmosphere. It was 30 years. It was much more of a party sort of atmosphere, and I spent a lot of time with local people that day. And this one guy said to me, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a successful business in Vukovar. Today, I've given 3 interviews to national television about my business, which is great promotion for me. But I'm really sad because I know that they won't come tomorrow, they won't come next week, they won't come next month. They're only here today because they're looking for a good story about Vukovar today, because we're the news today, and tomorrow we're forgotten for 364 days until the next November the 18th. And this struck with me. And I went in 2021, I was on a 6-day trip with an American digital nomad called Steve Zelensky, and I told him to come bring his drone, bring his camera, and I was going to show him the most amazing 6 days of his life. We went from Podrum all the way to Baranja, to places that most Croats have never even heard of. And it was the most sensational 6 days. At the end of it, I realized that there are so many Croats who have no idea what's in Eastern Croatia at all, and yet they're so proud of the sacrifice of Vukovar. And the people of Vukovar are really, really struggling because there is no interest apart from on this day. So how could we transfer this Facebook status into something concrete that would help everybody? And so I came up with a concept which is a very rare thing in Croatia. It's a win-win-win for everybody. And it's called the Vukovar card. The Vukovar card is a once-in-a-lifetime commitment. It's a 4-day or a 7-day itinerary, which has been prepared by the regional tourist boards. It takes people to the east of Croatia, takes them to Vukovar, and you can spend time learning about really what happened in Vukovar. You can spend time with the people of Vukovar. You can spend money in the cafes and the restaurants of Vukovar. And also, you get this amazing tourist experience from Podrum to Baranja, which truly is sensational. This is not charity. And people will learn the amazing, amazing stuff that's in the East that nobody knows about. And if you do this Vukovar card tour, you get the card. And this is almost like a patriotic sort of, I've been to Vukovar, I've got the card kind of thing. And then you go to the coast and you have all these cafes and restaurants and hotels that every November the 18th change their Facebook profile. And they sign up to the Vukovar card, and they give a 10% discount to anybody who has a Vukovar card, and that's their contribution. And for the Ministry of Tourism, they push this forward. They have a thing called the Crow card, which is a total disaster. So they have the infrastructure, and then we just put the whole Vukovar card into the Crow card, and this is a huge political win for the Ministry, which is doing something for the East. And so what you have is you have people who know nothing about the East really, who now are feeling patriotic because they're doing something, and they're learning about the country and they're loving it. So it's developing tourism in the East. And very rarely in Croatia, there are no losers here. So I had a meeting with the Minister of Tourism, Nikolina Brnjac. She loved it, and she said that she would give a letter of support and she would do what she can to help. So if anybody's interested to develop that, please get in touch, because the east of Croatia is truly sensational.